What happens after the letter? After pouring your heart out and after telling your inner child the words she needed to hear, what comes next? Because writing the letter is just the beginning. It opens the door, but healing is what happens when you walk through it. Your inner child, now seen and acknowledged, needs more than words. She needs presence. She needs consistent care. She needs action. Carl Jung taught that healing comes not from suppressing our wounds, but from integrating them into conscious awareness, from moving them out of the shadows and into the light. And that's where inner work truly begins. In this video, I'll share 3 powerful healing practices rooted in Jungian psychology and Zen teachings to help you reconnect with the part of yourself that's been silently waiting to be held. These are not just ideas, they are daily practices you can return to whenever you feel disconnected, overwhelmed, or unsure of your worth. So take a deep breath, create space for yourself, and stay with me until the end, because this is where the true transformation begins. Healing is not a destination, it's a process, one that unfolds layer by layer, moment by moment. Writing a letter to your inner child is a powerful first step because it gives her a voice. It allows you to name the pain, the memories, the long-held emotions that were never given the chance to breathe. But once that door is open, something else must happen: integration. Carl Jung believed that the purpose of life is not to become perfect, but to become whole. And wholeness is not achieved by ignoring the wounds or pretending they no longer exist. It is achieved through conscious, intentional work. That's where healing practices come in. You see, when we write to our inner child, we acknowledge her. We witness her story. But integration means going further. It means showing her again and again that we are here, that she is safe, that we will not abandon her again. This is not a one-time realization. It's a relationship you're building with yourself. Jung called this process individuation, the journey of becoming fully yourself by integrating the parts of you that have been hidden, rejected, or forgotten. Your inner child is one of those parts. She holds your vulnerability, your joy, your pain, your unmet needs, and she doesn't disappear just because you've written her a letter. If anything, that letter wakes her up. And now, she needs your presence more than ever. Zen philosophy teaches us something similar, but in its own way. It tells us that healing is found in the present moment, not in the past, not in the future, but in the now. When we stop running from our emotions, when we simply sit with them, observe them without judgment, something begins to shift. We start to feel safe in our own presence. And that's exactly what your inner child needs, to feel safe within you. This is why practices are so important. They're not just routines or habits. They are sacred rituals that reinforce a new relationship with yourself. They are how we create consistency, trust, and emotional repair. And you don't need complicated tools or external solutions to begin. What you need is time, attention, and intention. In this video, I'll guide you through 3 practices that are simple, powerful, and rooted in Jung's psychology and Zen awareness. These are practices you can return to anytime you feel disconnected, anytime the old fears resurface, anytime your inner child feels unsafe, unloved, or unheard. These practices are designed to help you not just remember your inner child, but reconnect with her, to make her feel supported, to give her the presence she never had. Because that's what healing really is: presence. Not fixing, not forcing, just being with what is, softly, consistently, with compassion. So as we begin, I invite you to create a quiet space around you. Take a deep breath, bring your attention inward, and allow yourself to feel, not just with your mind, but with your whole being, because the parts of you that were once silenced, they are ready to be heard. The first practice is visualization with the inner child. This exercise is rooted in Jung's concept of active imagination, a method where we give form to unconscious parts of ourselves and create a conscious dialogue with them. Begin by finding a quiet place. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly, deeply. Now imagine yourself in a safe, warm space, a room filled with soft light, or maybe a garden where the air feels calm. In this space, picture your inner child walking toward you. What does she look like? How old is she? What expression is on her face? Don't force the image. Let it form naturally. Now speak to her, not with your voice, but with your presence. Ask her how she feels, ask what she needs, then listen. Just be there. Sit with her. Hold her hand if she allows it. Tell her she is safe now, that you see her, that you will not leave. This is not about solving her problems, it's about presence. Just being there can be healing in ways words never could. You can return to this visualization anytime. The more often you do, the more your inner child begins to trust you, to feel that you are not just a voice on a page, but a consistent presence in her life. The second practice is therapeutic writing. Writing is a bridge between your unconscious and your conscious self. Jung believed that by giving language to our inner experiences, we bring shadow aspects of ourselves into awareness. And that's where transformation begins. Take a journal and ask yourself one simple question. What does my inner child want me to know today? Write without censoring. Let the words come through, even if they seem childish, angry, or sad. Maybe she misses something. Maybe she's afraid. Maybe she's angry at you for ignoring her for so long. Let her speak. Then, in the second half of the page, respond to her as your present self. Reassure her. Validate her feelings. Say the words you never received as a child. This kind of inner dialogue, when practiced regularly, creates emotional repair. It helps release suppressed emotions and builds a new relationship of trust. The third practice is called reparenting through daily actions. Reparenting means becoming the adult your inner child always needed. Jung said that what we do not make conscious will continue to direct our lives, and we will call it fate. That's why small intentional choices can rewire your emotional experience from within. Ask yourself, if I were parenting a small child, today what would I do to care for her? Maybe it means setting healthy boundaries. Maybe it means taking a nap instead of pushing through burnout. Maybe it's choosing to speak kindly to yourself in the mirror. These small acts are not trivial. They are proof to your inner child that she is no longer alone, that someone is finally showing up for her. This practice is especially powerful because it brings healing into your everyday life, not just in meditation or reflection, but in how you eat, rest, speak, and move. Every small action becomes part of the healing process. And finally, the fourth practice is compassionate listening, also known in Zen as deep listening. This practice isn't about talking to your inner child, it's about listening to her with your full presence. No fixing, no correcting, just witnessing. Find a moment during your day, preferably when you're feeling triggered or emotional. Instead of reacting or escaping, pause. Place your hand on your heart or on your belly. Breathe deeply. Ask, what am I feeling right now? What does this feeling want to tell me? Often, these emotional waves are echoes from the past. Your inner child may be trying to tell you she feels abandoned, ignored, or unloved. Don't shut her out, just listen. Let the emotion rise, don't analyze it, feel it. In Zen, this practice is called being with what is. No resistance, no denial, just presence. The more you do this, the more your nervous system learns that it's safe to feel, that you don't have to suppress, escape, or numb your emotions. You can hold space for them, gently, completely. Each of these 4 practices, visualization, writing, reparenting, and deep listening, are powerful on their own. But when practiced consistently, they become transformative. They are how you show your inner child that she matters, that she is not just a memory, but a living part of you that deserves attention, care, and love. Carl Jung once said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. But it is also the most healing. When you choose to face the parts of yourself you once abandoned, you begin to reclaim your wholeness. You begin to live not from your wounds, but from your truth. And in that truth, your inner child is not a problem to solve. She is a guide, a teacher, a bridge back to the essence of who you truly are. Healing is not a straight line. It doesn't happen all at once, and it doesn't always feel like progress. Some days you'll feel strong, empowered, clear, full of peace. Other days the same old wounds may resurface. You may feel like you've taken a step back, like you're failing, but you're not. Healing is a spiral. It brings you deeper and deeper into yourself. And each time you return to these parts, you bring more awareness, more compassion, more light. That is the true work. Not escaping who you were, but embracing it fully. Carl Jung believed that we are not here to become someone else. We are here to remember who we truly are beneath the layers of fear, conditioning, and expectation. Your inner child is part of that truth. She carries the essence of who you've always been. Pure, sensitive, curious, open-hearted, and deeply alive. By doing these healing practices, you're not just being spiritual or reflective. You are rewriting your nervous system. You are breaking cycles that may have lasted generations. You are learning to hold space for your own soul without judgment or rejection. That is powerful. That is sacred. Sometimes people think they need to be completely healed before they can live fully, but the truth is, healing is not a prerequisite for joy. It is the path to it. Even in your pain, you can experience moments of beauty. Even in your doubt, you can still choose to show up with love. That is the work. That is the way forward. Each time you choose to visualize your inner child and sit with her, you are creating emotional safety. Each time you write to her, you are opening a dialogue that was once silenced. Each time you act with care, you are proving to her that she is worthy of kindness. Each time you listen deeply, without needing to fix or solve, you are honoring her experience as real, valid, and important. These are not small things. They are everything. Because your relationship with yourself is the foundation for everything else in your life. The way you love, the way you allow others to treat you, the way you speak to yourself in quiet moments. When you nurture your inner child, all of these begin to shift, not instantly but undeniably. Jung taught us that until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct our lives, and we will call it fate. This is your opportunity to take the reins back, to stop living from old scripts written in fear, abandonment, or shame, and start living from presence, compassion, and truth. It may feel strange at first, uncomfortable, maybe even painful, because when we've spent so long ignoring parts of ourselves, turning toward them can feel unfamiliar. But don't let that stop you. Lean into that discomfort. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that something is waking up inside you. Something that has been waiting a long time to be seen, and here you are, seeing it. So before this video ends, I want to ask you something important. What did your inner child feel when you tried one of these practices? What came up for you? Was it peace, sadness, resistance, relief? There are no right or wrong answers, only your truth. I'd love for you to share in the comments, not just for you but for others who are walking this path and may feel alone. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if this message resonated with you, if you found clarity or calm or a moment of connection, I invite you to like this video, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Not because you should, but because you are choosing to surround yourself with messages that support your healing. Every comment, every like, every share, it helps this message reach more people who need it. People who are ready to reconnect with the part of themselves they've forgotten. People like you. Thank you for showing up today. Not for me, but for you. Your presence here is powerful. Your willingness to do this work is rare. And your inner child, she feels it. She sees you now, and for the first time in a long time, she knows she's not alone.